The news begins in West Africa, where the House of Representatives has asked the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment to immediately halt the signing and implementation of a trade partnership with the United Kingdom, which allows UK lawyers to practice within Nigeria. A motion by 49 lawmakers pointed to recent reports and public outcry over an alleged economic and trade partnership between the UK and Nigeria aimed at exploring new opportunities in key sectors such as energy, legal, and financial services sectors. The House also noted that the trade deal became very heightened some days ago as the legal aspects appeared lopsided and tilted mainly in favor of the UK to the detriment of qualified Nigerian lawyers. To security matters now, President Bola Tinubu has assured residents of Okoma community in Delta State, where several army officers were gruesomely murdered by youths suspected to be members of the community, that there will be no reprisal attack, especially on innocent citizens residing in the community. This was made known by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, where he expressed the disappointment at the incident, saying attacking uniformed personnel should not be tolerated from any citizen. The minister also relayed the president's position on the recent kidnap of school children in Kuriga in Kaduna State, saying that no ransom will be paid for their release as the Nigerian military is on top of the situation and will ensure that those kidnapped will be reunited with their families. Amadin Uyi reports.
It's been one incident after the other as the nation has reeled from one tragedy after another. While the recent murder of several military personnel in Okwama community in Delta State has continued to generate reactions, President Bola Tinubu, while condemning the attack, however, assured residents of the community that innocent citizens will not be caught in the crossfire. This position was made known by the nation's Minister of Information and National Orientation.
As the Commander-in-Chief and as someone who is also very passionate about having a peaceful resolution of every situation, he has asked for calm. He has asked that the community cooperate with the armed forces so that we can fish out those who are the perpetrators of this act. And he has also asked and enjoined members of the armed forces to also limit themselves to only those who are involved in this. Of course, all those involved will not go unpunished, but of course, the president has also made it clear that the punishment of those who participated in this crime will not also affect innocent lives. Those who are not involved will surely not be punished.
The minister also assured families whose words were kidnapped in Kuriga in Kaduna State, northwest Nigeria, saying they will be rescued and returned safely home. He says that no ransom will be paid as demanded by the bandits and urged them to place their trust on the nation's military.
I want to assure Nigerians that the armed forces and the security agencies are working round the clock to ensure that these children are reunited once again with their family members. They are going to come back. This is a message that the president has always reiterated. It is sad, it is unfortunate, it shouldn't have happened. It has happened. The armed forces are working round the clock. The government would not accept the payment of ransom in any way, form, or shape. The Nigerian armed forces have the capacity to deal with the situation diligently and carefully, so that more lives will not be lost.
While the event in Okwama continues to shock citizens, President Tinubu assured that those responsible will be brought to book. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadin Uyi.
Let's also tell you that peace is gradually returning to Asaba, the capital of Delta State, southern Nigeria, after the second day of protests over a clash between commercial motorcycle operators and the state task force on the regulation of motorcycle operations in the state capital. More property estimated to be worth more than millions of naira were destroyed as the state government warns that it will not condone any breach to the peace in the state. Austin Azu brings us the details.
The ever-busy Okpanam Road and other linking roads were less busy with commercial tricycle and motorcycle operators in Asaba and environs due to the clash between the Okada riders and the state task force on enforcement of the ban on late-hour operations in the area. Economic activities were paralyzed at the midwifery market, Okpanam Road, and other businesses as angry youth set 2 tricycles ablaze.
It's highly painful. Keke now today is 2,800,000 naira per one. And if you could imagine losing 2 keke, you're losing almost 5 million naira. My life, as I'm talking to you now, it's very heart touching for me.
As the protesters were on the road, some were noticed to be armed.
Not all of them, there is some who they do their business for many people, but most people will be say would avoid. Now this is keke and okada people. When you scratch them, one of them, you go see them go 100, come attack you.
Is between those northerns, Hausa with the police people, with government. But as time goes on, they have to penetrate into our market. Before you know what is going on, they just shot our former chairman.
They keep dagger for their waist. If we Igbo men, they waka now, or the Southerners, they waka now. If police search you, they see dagger, they go arrest you. Why the police know they search all these people? Iron condemn, they carry dagger, knife, they waka. Bike men, they carry knife, they waka, dagger, they waka.
The Arewa youth leader in Asaba said the protest was hijacked by hoodlums who destroyed government property.
So I think that is what happened. Then they started destroying things. So I think that destruction of things and taking laws into their hands is not a good thing. That's what we are condemning.
The State Commissioner of Police, who confirmed the death of 2 persons, maintained that the security agencies remain determined to maintain law and order in the state.
We employ all those who live within this area of responsibility to please go about their lawful business. The government and the police and other security services are guaranteeing your safety.
The secretary to the state government, who visited the wounded victim of the violent protest, accompanied by other top government functionaries to the Asaba Specialist Hospital, said the state government is working with security agencies and the leadership of the Okada riders to resolve the impasse.
Say what we're doing. Security issues are not issues that are discussed on the pages of newspapers or on television. But the security agencies have been working assiduously to make sure that Asaba retains its calmness and peacefulness.
Residents of Asaba and environs have called on the state government to profile all Okada riders in the state capital and Okpanam and sieve out bad elements that may become threats to the peace of the state. In Asaba for News Central, I'm Austin Azu.
We'll tell you that the continuous attacks by bandits, including the recent abduction of school children in Kaduna State, located in Nigeria's northwestern region, has thrown residents into panic and fear. Some of them say government's unwillingness to negotiate with the bandits for the release of over 287 kidnapped school children is further putting them and their families into an irredeemable loss. In the special report, our correspondent, Marvelous Obomanu, who has been on ground in Kaduna State, sampled the opinion of the residents.
It has been over a week since bandits abducted 287 children from the Kuriga primary and secondary schools, as well as the recent attack in the Dongomona community in Kajuri local government area of the state. The kidnappers, a few days after, have made a demand of 1 billion naira for the release of those held in their camp, giving a 20 days ultimatum for the payment of ransom. However, Nigeria's government has been firm on its stance, saying it will not negotiate with the bandits, a response which is not going down well with some residents of the state.
They should not wash their hands. I know they have the money, government have it. They can borrow money and do any other project. If they will borrow money for the sake of children, our own children, please, government should go to any length and do this for us. Please, not just being with your parents is a torture. Talk more of being in the hands of bandits. With the fear, seeing guns, children will see what they are not expected to see or know what they are not expected to know at this age of their lives. So I just pray that the government will look into this.
Why is it difficult to go after these bandits? And funny enough, these bandits communicate with parents of these kids through the phone. So what's the use of the NIM that we did? It means that it's of no use and we are not safe in our own country.
Even if the government don't want to negotiate with them, the parents of those children that they kidnap, they don't have those kind of money. It's very, very, very sad seeing your child in the bush and you don't have something don't have money to even try to bring the child out of the place.
The mood here on the streets of Kaduna is that of uncertainty and anxiety. Residents are saying that government has lost touch on handling the issue of kidnapping, and they are now living in palpable fear, not knowing when next these kidnappers can attack. They are calling on government to, as a matter of urgency, find a lasting solution so that the residents of Kaduna State can sleep with their two eyes closed.
We are no longer safe in these states, especially our side here in Kariji, Chikun local government. We are no longer safe.
At night, we cannot sleep because of bandits. We have to off light, stay as if we are in a cage. In your own house, you can't live freely.
The bandits made a demand of 1 billion naira. And funny enough, this kidnapping happened in the outskirts of Kaduna State, whereby they are low-income earners. So where are those parents going to see 1 billion naira to pay these bandits?
The bandits are claiming they have relocated to faraway northern Zamfara state with their captives, and this has left many residents asking many questions. Some say the ability to storm the school with their motorbikes, whisking over 280 children with ease, is a question only security agencies can answer. In Kaduna State, for News Central, Marvelous Obonman.
Many thanks for staying with us. Let's talk politics now. The conflict between the Nigeria Labour Congress and the Labour Party has taken another turn as members of the NLC on Wednesday picketed the headquarters of the party in the Utako area of the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja. The union members, led by the acting chairman of the Political Commission of the Congress, Theophilus Undubuaku, demanded the immediate resignation of Julius Abure as the national chairman of the party, on the grounds that he was not properly elected as the national chairman of the Labour Party. The NLC Political Commission chairman also claimed that the planned convention of the party under the leadership of Abure is an illegal one. Still talking politics, Nigeria's electoral body has warned political parties to keep to their schedule of activities, saying disregarding this will undermine their chances in nominating their candidates for the Edo and Ondo States governorship polls. This was during an interagency consultative meeting where the chairman of the body revealed that 2 weeks after the primary elections by political parties, only 6 have uploaded their candidates to the INEC dedicated server despite a deadline of 2 weeks. Amadine Uyi reports.
It was the first consultative meeting between Nigeria's electoral body and the nation's political parties. The chairman of the body gave an update on the ongoing preparations for the upcoming Edo and Ondo State governorship polls.
Today's meeting is the first since the conclusion of the by-elections and court-ordered run elections held last month in 26 states of the Federation, with the exception of 2 states, Enugu and Kano. Winners have emerged from the by-elections and the rerun elections.
The chairman, however, warned that those disregarding the timeline set for the uploading of their party candidates will have themselves to blame.
Already, party primaries for the Edo State governorship elections have been concluded. By the timetable and schedule of activities for the election, political parties have 20 days to upload the list and personal particulars of their candidates to our dedicated portal. We have trained party liaison officers and established a help desk for political parties. The portal opened on 4th March 2024 and will automatically shut down at 6 p.m. on Saturday, 24th March 2024. 2 weeks later, only 6 parties have uploaded their nominations to the portal as at this morning.
The chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council called on INEC to address challenges facing the nation's electoral process, saying Nigeria's political parties will work with the commission to improve the process.
Election is the beauty of democracy. The ballot is sacred and sacrosanct. It is our duty as political leaders to ensure the elections meet international best practices and also hold critical stakeholders accountable. Vote selling and vote buying, thuggery, voters' apathy and intimidation of our electoral officers, officials, particularly to declare results under duress, are still issues militating against the conduct of credible polls in the country.
The INEC chairman urged parties to adhere strictly to the Commission's schedule of activities. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadin Uyi.
Meanwhile, the ruling All Progressives Congress says it will on April 3 commence the sale of expression of interest and nomination forms for the Ondo State governorship election. The expression of interest form will be sold for 10 million naira, while the nomination form goes for 40 million naira. However, female aspirants and persons with disabilities will procure the 10 million naira expression of interest form, while the nomination form is free. This was disclosed in a statement posted on the party's official X handle by the National Organizing Secretary, Suleiman Argungu. The state governorship primary will be held on April 25, while the primary election appeal to attend to complaints and contestation will hold on April 26. The Jos Metropolitan Development Board has impounded indiscriminately parked vehicles and heavy equipment on government roads within Jos, the capital of Plateau State, north-central Nigeria. This operation followed non-compliance of some members of the public after a series of warnings and sensitizations for owners of such equipment to get them removed. News Central's Chizoba Anyonwe tells us more in this report.
Sensitization for this operation began in September last year. It was a call for owners of such erring vehicles and heavy equipment to get them out of the way to allow for the congestion of roads across the city center. Despite the intentions of government to give and maintain a facelift for the capital city, there was heavy traffic along all the routes where the operation took place, especially at the popular First Gate, Dedinkowa area of Jos. The Government Enforcement Task Force, made up of officials of the JMDB, FRSC, the Nigeria Police, the NDLEA, VIO, and the NURTW, said there's no going back on this exercise.
We're not going to allow people to behave anyhow. This is not a banana republic. We will not allow rascality of epidemic proportion to continue to fester. This is Plateau State. We must make our state beautiful.
Illegal parking left, right, and center. You know, people selling cars, advertising cars on government roads. These roads are not meant for, if you want to own a car stand, you can buy a space or rent, or government can even lease. But these are government roads. Plateau people should enjoy 100% access to these roads.
We had taken all our complaints, had all the stakeholder engagements, and we have submitted it to His Excellency, which gave birth to the executive order, and we're going to enforce it to the full.
The fact that this exercise will ease traffic and put an end to some social vices in those areas seem to have made it a welcome development.
Two of my cars is involved. But what really happened is that I know the government is doing a good work. They are doing a good work. The way they remove the cars, even me too, I'm happy about it. It's only that it's our carelessness that caused this problem for me.
This has been causing a series of accidents, and apart from that, you'll be seeing different kind of people, youths, who always be close to those vehicles, and at most times they are into drugs.
The sum of 500,000 naira is the fine for each of these dozens of impounded vehicles now parked at the VIO office.
As early as 6 o'clock this morning, major actors in this field gathered here to move away illegally parked vehicles and to make sure they do not continue doing the same act. Sustainability of this action or this exercise is what matters. In Jos for News Central, Chizoba Anyonwe.
Civil society organization in Nigeria, the Clean Foundation, has called for adequate funding of the administration of criminal justice committees across all states of the Federation to enable accountability and transparency in Nigeria's criminal justice system. The group made this call while presenting the findings from research analysis on the status of stakeholders' compliance with the Administration of Criminal Justice Act of 2015 across the country. News Central's Adeshewo Dushoga reports.
In December 2023, there was a viral video showing the Comptroller General of the Correctional Service, Haliru Nababa, who appeared before the Joint Senate and House of Representatives Committee on Interior for the 2024 Budget Defense session, where he revealed that the guard dogs are better fed than the over 80,000 inmates in Nigeria.
You know, you feed the dog with at least 800 naira a day. So a dog is better fed in Nigeria prison than an innocent Nigerian who is held in your custody.
The video raised thought-provoking questions about the living conditions of inmates behind bars and how fairly they are treated per the law, with many of them numbering over 50,000 awaiting trial with their rights often trampled upon. In 2015, the Administration of Criminal Justice Act was enacted to ensure speedy dispensation of justice, protection of rights of the accused persons, and enhancing transparency in the criminal justice system. Referring to this act, a civil society organization, the Clean Foundation, conducted a comprehensive analysis to assess the compliance level with the legislation across 6 geopolitical zones in the country, especially by stakeholders in the judicial system.
There are issues burdened around bail, specific to arrest by proxy, and there are also instances burdened on poor interrogation, poor search procedure, etc.
Part of the findings of the research indicated delays in charging suspects to court by law enforcement agencies, constant requests for case adjournment by legal practitioners, delays in trial processes and backlogs of cases in Nigerian court, and overcrowding and poor living conditions in Nigerian prisons, all of which are against the provision of the 2015 Act.
We think that providing a judicial infrastructure within the court system would ease, 1, the administration of the process, 2, it will ease adjudication process, and 3, it will also help judges in terms of the functionality of how they also work around. It helped them to create a dashboard to see cases that are staying for too long. If you create that dashboard, it allows you to comply with the provisions of the ACJA.
The stakeholders' assessment research was conducted in 8 randomly selected states, which includes Edo, Kwara, Bauchi, Sokoto, Delta, Katsina, Jigawa, and Cross River states. In Lagos for News Central, Adeshawa Odushoga.
The high cost of cooking gas in Nigeria has sparked reactions among energy stakeholders as they express worry, saying it is forcing citizens to revert to the use of firewood and charcoal as alternatives for cooking. This, they say, recedes Nigeria's progress in achieving Goal 7 of the Sustainable Development Goals for clean and affordable energy for all by the year 2030. Idong Joseph reports.
Goal 7 of the Sustainable Development Goals seeks access to clean and affordable energy for all by 2030. In Nigeria, available data reveals that only 1 in 10 households cook with clean energy sources and technologies such as electricity, liquefied petroleum gas, or improved biomass stoves. Approximately about 127 million people and more than 24 million families now cook with open fires.
Showed that 62% of households make use of firewood, followed by kerosene, LPG, charcoal, improved biomass, and then just 1% make use of electricity for cooking.
The current economic hardship is believed to have forced more households to return to the use of traditional cooking methods, regarded as a silent killer, and is responsible for over 78,000 deaths annually in Nigeria. Stakeholders, researchers, and policymakers from different states converge on the nation's capital to review available policies in place, expected to ensure Nigerian households have access to clean and affordable energy alternatives.
We need innovative clean cooking technologies, ranging from efficient clean cooks to...
Let's develop KPIs. Let's have timelines and work towards achieving these KPIs. A lot has already been done.
My role here basically is to hear, listen, learn, and now take that report to see how we can cooperate with good organizations.
With the government expressing its commitment through the National Policy on Cleaner Cooking, stakeholders have called for framework to control and regulate market activities for the price of cooking gas.
When the price of the dollar rises, the prices for cooking
energy in Nigeria also rises. This is totally unacceptable, and every stakeholder has agreed that this is policy that must be changed.
To ensure access to energy for all by 2030, many here at this high-level dialogue believe that all stakeholders must work together to improve energy efficiency and develop enabling policies and regulatory frameworks. In Abuja for News Central, I am Idonk Joseph.
The news continues in West Africa, where 7 million Senegalese are due to head to the polls on Sunday to vote in a wide-open presidential election following weeks of chaos and uncertainty. Whoever comes out on top will be tasked with steering the traditionally stable West African nation out of years of turmoil and managing revenues from recently discovered oil and gas reserves. The 18 men and 1 woman have until Friday to finish a raucous 2-week campaigning period, which was dramatically shortened after a last-minute change to election date. The election race was also fired up by a rapidly passed amnesty law that led last week to the release from prison of Bassirou Diomaye Faye and the charismatic Ousmane Sonko, figureheads of the anti-establishment opposition. In East Africa, at least 15 people, including senior officials, have been killed in an ambush in South Sudan. Officials say the commissioner of Boma County in Pibor was returning from a visit to a village on Tuesday when youths from a rival community attacked. He was killed along with his bodyguards and Boma's deputy army commander. A 2018 peace deal ended a 5-year civil war in South Sudan, but several areas, including Boma County, have experienced outbreaks of ethnic violence. These have often been revenge attacks for cattle raids involving the Murle, Anyuak, Nuer, and Dinkas ethnic groups. In neighboring Sudan, a lawyer of Sudan's former president, Omar al-Bashir, says his client has been moved from a hospital where he has been since the war broke out in the country in April last year to a secure military site. Mohammed Al-Hassan Al-Amin said the former leader, alongside 4 others, have been transferred from the medical corps after health care there ran out completely. Bashir, who had been convicted for corruption and was facing trial for leading a military coup in 1989, was receiving treatment at a military hospital in Omdurman city that came under siege by the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces. From other continents, we tell you that Ireland's Special Oireachtas Joint Committee on Assisted Dying is set to publish its final reports after months of hearing from both national and international experts. We understand the committee will recommend that the government legislate to introduce assisted dying in the state. This was a majority decision in which 9 committee members voted in favor, 3 voted against, 1 abstained, and 1 was not present. The legislation will primarily apply to a person diagnosed with an illness or medical condition that is incurable, irreversible, progressive, and advanced, and will cause death within 6 months. This time limit is likely set at 12 months for neurodegenerative conditions. And joining us now to give us a bit of more insight into this story is our international correspondent, Afia Hagen. Now, Afia, what are some of the concerns over these measures?
And there are concerns over these measures, and rightly so. This is something that has been discussed in Parliament for quite a while, and Ireland is probably going to be the country to bring in this legislation in and around the United Kingdom. And of course, already suicide is legal in Ireland, but assisted suicide in this case is not. Now, there are concerns, particularly from doctors working in palliative care, that this could mean that people who are already under the great pressure and stress of a terminal illness, that in the distress that a terminal illness causes, may under that time be under a lot of pressure and decide that actually ending their life is the way out of it. And it's about the pressure that is on people already and the pressure that could be on their families. That's what people are really concerned about. If you have a legislation that could be put in place, which means that people could choose to end their own life, when people are sick, when they feel overwhelmed, when they feel distressed, they may make a decision that unfortunately cannot be reversed. Now, the Taoiseach, that's the leader of Ireland, Leo Varadkar, who incidentally resigned after this debate in Parliament, not because of this debate. He has been the leader for quite a few years now, and he made his statement about his decision to resign after they were talking about this legislation. But he's going to study the committee's recommendations during his time of office, and his predecessor will as well. He's part of a coalition government. It has about a year left on its books. We're anticipating an election in Ireland in probably late autumn, which means that this coalition government in Ireland will not be the ones to put in this legislation. It will probably be tabled for the next government. And even then, it will be quite a few years before it does become a law, if it becomes a law.
Okay, now there are also fears that people may travel to Ireland to take advantage of this measure. Is that right, and would that be allowed?
Yes, so Ireland does have fears that they perhaps could be victim to people who decide to take advantage of this law. There is a 12-month residency rule that's going to be part of the rules put in place, which means you have to have been a resident in Ireland for 12 months leading up to you requesting this assisted dying, if that's something that you'd want to do. It will also recommend that a person diagnosed with a disease or illness or a medical condition that has to be both incurable and irreversible, only those will be eligible for assisted dying. There's also another 38 recommendations there to prevent health tourism or suicide tourism, as it were, and because other countries have got these rules in place that you have to have been a resident in that country for 12 months before you can travel there for assisted dying. The only country that doesn't have that in place is Switzerland, and that's why a lot of people end up going there for assisted dying.
All right, where else is assisted dying legal in the country?
Well, Switzerland, like I mentioned, is a place that does have this kind of suicide tourism problem, as it were. But it's also legal in Canada. They've been able to provide drugs for assisted dying since 2015. In the Netherlands as well, they have a termination of life and request an assisted suicide act that's been in place since 2021. In Germany, you've got lawmakers who are struggling actually to agree on new legislation after a 2020 court ruling on a ban on assisted suicide. In the US, medically assisted dying for adults is legal in 11 of 50 states already. So there are a few countries around the world where, yes, you can seek this kind of treatment if it's something that you require. All those countries that I mentioned, apart from Switzerland, do require you being a resident in the country for at least 12 months. And Switzerland is the only place that doesn't insist on that. So a lot of people do end up traveling there if they do want to receive this kind of treatment.
Okay, Afia Hagen, thank you so much for sharing these insightful details with us. Let's now take you to the heart of Israel in Tel Aviv, to a place where memories of those taken hostage by Hamas are kept alive. This is a place where relatives, friends and families gather daily to pray, hope and remember. At this bustling center, people of all ages engage in various activities like painting, playing music and sticking pictures on the wall as a tribute to those still held in captivity by Hamas. News Central's Bongani Siziba reports.
In the heart of Tel Aviv lies a solemn yet vibrant place where the spirit of love and resilience strives. Here people from different walks of life come together to pray, to remember and to keep the flame of hope burning for their loved ones. Every day, this place comes alive with the beating heart of those who refuse to forget, who refuse to give in to despair. It stands as a testament to the enduring power of love, hope, and resilience in the face of adversity.
This is a display and just showing how we want all the hostages back as quick as possible. Different displays from different families and artists showing what the hostage families are going through, and we need to identify with the families. The displays are symbolic of what's going on in Gaza, like the tunnel. The yellow piano behind us belongs to Alon Chen.
A beacon of hope stands tall in this intimate corner. Here they have created a table of memories, a poignant display of love and longing. Each item carefully placed, a resemblance of a dish carefully prepared. All carry with them the hope that one day their loved ones will return, and there will be a shared meal, a moment of togetherness, and a silent of prayer for peace.
Our aim is to bring awareness and to bring them all home now, because every minute they're there, they're in danger and their lives are in danger.
A family member, a cousin to one of the hostages, shares his grief with the world. His sorrows echoes through the walls of this place, a cry for justice, a plea for unity.
At 10:30, the terrorists broke in the house of my uncle and aunt in Kibbutz Be'eri. They first took my aunt, she's 68 years old. They took her, we didn't really know where. But later, I found a video that showed her being led by the terrorists, and another video that showed that she was brutally murdered right outside her house. Then they took her daughter, Carmel. Her father was locked in the bathroom, and he saw the terrorists just taking her as she vanished from the road right near the house. And then they came back and they tried to break inside the safe room. Inside the safe room there were Alon, he's my cousin, his wife Yarden, and the 3.5-year-old daughter Geffen. The three of them were inside the safe room. The terrorists tried to break in, and Alon understood that there's no way that he could lock the door for long enough to keep it closed from the terrorists. So he made a choice. He took out the light bulb and he covered his wife and his daughter with a blanket, and he went out. And he said, "I'm the only one here, just take me."
At the center of this place lies a tunnel filled with photographs and messages from visitors, a symbolic passage that connects the past and the present. Each message, each stroke of paint, each note played carries the weight of longing and love. For many who come here, the presence of this one-year-old picture who is kept hostage pains the heart of many and stands as a reminder of the fragile thread that connects us all. Each individual here has hope that one day their friends, their families will come back home safe. In Tel Aviv, Israel, for News Central, Bongani Siziba.
Talking business now, Nigeria's Federation Account Allocation Committee, FAC, reported a rise in distributable revenue with 2.07 trillion naira disbursed in February 2024, a 23.9% increase from January. The allocation included 407.27 billion naira for the federal government, 379.41 billion naira for states, and 278.04 billion naira for local governments. Oil-producing states received 85.10 billion naira. Revenue-generating agencies received 16.27 billion naira, 43.35 billion naira, and 18.68 billion naira. However, concerns remain about the lack of impact on citizens' lives. Gospel Obele, chief economist at Streetnomics, discussed this on the Business Edge show.
is not lodging monies and reimbursing into sectors that work, in quotes. The challenge has really been a leadership challenge. If you look at it very closely, this was the case we had with the Shopee fund. Subsidies were believed to have been relaxed, in the economy, and those extra monies were put into the Shopee fund to ensure that socioeconomic investments were driven from that fund. So, and in this case right now, we can't really trace to a particular fund where all of these monies are going to be disbursed from, and even if they're being disbursed, what are the set priorities of the current administration to ensure that we're investing in sectors with high returns on those investments?
In sports, Super Eagles interim coach Finidi George has said the Super Eagles of Nigeria are ready for the friendly matches against Ghana and Mali. George stated this after his first training in charge as interim coach of Nigeria for the friendlies against the two African countries. He noted that the players will take the games seriously to put smiles on the faces of Nigerians. Super Eagles confront West African arch-rivals Ghana on Friday and the Lenglé of Mali at the same Grand Stade de Marrakech on Tuesday, March 26.
It's been good. We're still waiting for some players. But the players that are here now, we've done a good job, good training. It's not that intense because some of them are coming, just traveling back or getting here. So, but it's been a good feeling. AFCON is gone, so these are two games that are very, very crucial to Nigeria. So we'll take it seriously and make sure we get the best out of these games.
We also tell you that Chidi Okezie and Dube Mwachukwu have advanced to the men's 400-meter final at the African Games 2023. Chidi dominated his heat, clinching victory in 45.63 seconds, nearing his personal best set in 2021. Meanwhile, Dube secured second place in a semi-final with a season best time of 45.89 seconds, guaranteeing his spot in the final.
So the experience has been everything I thought it would be. Coming out here just to compete, have fun nonetheless. So I'm here, so I can't complain. My goal was just to get out nice and smooth, not to press too much because I got it last night. So I was like, let me just take it nice and easy. So when I saw the clock say 45.8, I was like, oh, okay. I know I got a lot more in the tank, so that's
And that's all at this hour. But before we go, we take a look at some of our top stories. Nigeria Labour Congress has picketed Labour Party headquarters, demanded Aburi's removal. 7 million citizens are expected to vote in Sunday's Senegal election. At least 15 government officials have been killed in South Sudan. You can send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number and email on your screen. You can also follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can also watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Arvo TV and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Lekon Onabanjo.